What's up, and welcome to the No Bullshit Manifestation Show. I'm your host, Kat Kozad, manifestation expert, money mindset and fulfillment coach, and multiple six-figure entrepreneur. Come sit with me while I spill the real tea on what it's like to practice using intentional manifestation, demystify all of the woo-woo and confusing bullshit that comes along with creating the life of your dreams, and give you a realistic view of what it's like to be on a personal, spiritual, and professional growth journey. The goal of this podcast is to support and guide you towards manifesting all of your dreams, shed light on the things that people are too scared to talk about, and encourage you to become the person who gets to have it all, be it all, and do it all. I am so happy you are here. Let's fucking do this thing. What's up, loves? Welcome back to another episode of the No Bullshit Manifestation Show. I have such a special episode for you today. I bring one of my soul sisters, Mar, onto the podcast to talk all about being on a fitness journey and how that relates to manifestation. And Mar, personally in my life, has been one of the biggest influences that I've had in terms of going on a health and a fitness journey and truly reconnecting with my physical body. Because when I first started my manifestation journey, I was so focused on my internal world. I was so focused on my belief systems and getting everything into alignment inside of myself, and really couldn't even start to think or focus on my physical body or anything in my external, because there was so much work to be done internally. And when I had really gone through that work, this was the next step. This was the next level for me. And Mar came into my life in such divine timing with it to help me start to really change my relationship with my body and with health. Because if you listen to the podcast before, you've probably heard me say that my relationship to my body and health and fitness and all of the different things has been one of the most challenging things for me throughout my life, due to the different limiting beliefs and stories and whatnot that I had about my body from growing up and from being overweight as a kid. And it has been so powerful to have support throughout this journey and actually be guided to the position where I've been able to really start to heal my relationship with my body and with fitness and nutrition, so that I'm elevating and stepping into the highest and greatest version of myself, not only with my belief systems, but also with my physical body and with my behaviors and the way that I choose to see fitness and nutrition as acts of self-love. And that's something that we really dive into this podcast episode, is the fact that it's an act of self-love when we're choosing to fully be committed to our health and to taking care of our physical bodies. And that is exactly what Mar helps with. So Mar is an online fitness coach helping women become strong, confident, happy, and healthy. Her specialty is weightlifting and nutrition, and her program is tailored towards women whose goal is to lose weight, tone, and gain muscle. And that is exactly what Mar has helped me with. And it's so beautiful to watch her have this incredible community of other women who are on this journey of becoming the strongest, happiest, healthiest versions of themselves through reconnecting with their bodies, through fitness and nutrition. And you'll hear Mar talk about it in the episode, but if anybody is interested in connecting with her and going on this health journey, this fitness journey with Mar, be sure to check out the links down below, because everything that she has is listed down below for you to be a part of. And yeah, let her know that you're coming from the No Bullshit Manifestation Show if you choose to connect with her. But without a further ado, let's get into this episode with Mar. Alrighty, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of the No Bullshit Manifestation Show. Today, I have my soul sister, Miss Mar, on the show to chat with us about health and fitness and all of those things and how they relate to the manifestation process, to our bodies, to just being in this human experience. And I'm so excited to bring her on because she has played such a huge role in my wellness journey. So Mar, thank you so much for coming onto the podcast.
Thanks for having me. This is so much fun.
Yay, cool. So let's dive in. Let's start with your story. What has led you on this journey to be who you are today, where you are today, and doing the work that you do?
Yeah, with the work and who I am and all of it, really, it goes back about 3 years. I mean, I've always been a mover. My mom's like, you came out of the womb kicking. I like to move. And so being a fitness coach, people meet me and they're like, oh, that makes sense. But that being said, I used to work corporate tech. I worked at Microsoft. I worked at Redfin. I worked a couple other places, and I found myself in 2018 deeply unhappy with my life, living in Seattle, working tech, and in my 7-year relationship with a wonderful human. But my life just felt misaligned. I was coming home after work and just crying. I was really unhappy and really uncomfortable because I was stagnant in my life and not growing. So it happened over the course of about a year, but in a really quick nutshell, I left Seattle, I left my relationship, and I left my corporate career, basically all the security in my life, and I moved to Bali, and I lived there for 1.5 years. And that helped me to realize what I really wanted to do, which was to be a coach and help people transform their lives and get unstuck like I had been. So then now fast forward, now I have a big business coaching women to transform their lives through movement and fitness and health. And it's been a lot of things getting to that point, but that's like the short story. And going through coaching has helped me become more of who I am too. So just a lot of moving through fear and discomfort to peel back the layers of Mar.
God, I love that. Something that really stood out to me as you said that is like all of the safety and security in your life. And I can imagine during that time you were in the position where you were still moving, like working out, being fit, all of the different things, but because you weren't growing, you felt very stagnant. And I think that there's a lot of misconception that happens in our lives in terms of what being stagnant is, especially when you are an active person, you are quote unquote healthy. So tell us, like, what's your personal definition of being healthy?
Amazing segue. Yeah, I think health is not just on a physical level. I always, I think in my body, look to people so healthy, but even though I've got a banging bod, I haven't always felt healthy in my own body, in my mind and spirituality, and on a soul level too. So the times when I feel like my health is aligned and I'm truly healthy is when I'm like vibrant and radiating. And my program is called Lively because that's how I want to feel when I'm healthy, is like alive, lit up, on fucking fire. And it's not just a physical body thing, although that's a really important component. It's also mental, and it's also emotional, spiritual. So for me, mental health, physical health, emotional, and spiritual health are all really linked to one another. And when you stoke all three of those fires, you get this beautiful, what's that word? Alchemy? It's not the word. You get this, like, everything kind of just fits together. And so for me, moving my body is often the first catalyst of that. If I'm in a low state, or I wake up and I'm in a funk, which absolutely happens for me. And then I go get a walk in, or I go to the gym, or I get a hike in, and I start moving my body, it shifts my state. The cells in my body respond to that. And so then I know how to get myself mentally and emotionally in a better place through physical movement. So it can work the other way around too, but that's something I often will do to kind of manipulate my state, is move.
So good. So for somebody who's listening who is really resonating with that of like, okay, it's not just the physical aspect of this, it's the mental, it's the emotional, it's the spiritual. And they're kind of caught up of like, what part of healthy do I need as my catalyst to step into what you just said, their own personal definition of healthy and feeling alive within themselves. What are some words of wisdom that you could give to that person?
Yeah, I think to find the area of your life that maybe you need to spend a little bit more attention, you can always look to the pain point. What is hurting within you? Where are you uncomfortable? What are your desires when it comes to your health? So when you think about your physical health, are there aspects of your physical being, your physical body, where you feel pain, you feel uncomfortable, you have back pain, or you feel you're carrying extra weight, or you feel that you aren't firing on all cylinders and in optimal health in the home that is your body? So that's the one aspect of the physical. Emotionally, do you feel like you are struggling, like you are really in a battle with yourself, with life emotionally? I've 100% been there. I was depressed last summer going through a breakup. It was very emotionally taxing. There are just phases of life where we have to sort of ride that out. But maybe that area needs attention, emotional attention, trauma release, healing. And then mentally, I think that goes along with the emotions too. But there's just times when we have a really hard time with mindset and headspace, and we have to do that work. So every morning I wake up and I do my 5-minute journal, and I do my mirror work, and I practice my I am becoming affirmations, because I'm really focused on the woman I'm turning into and who I want to become. So the area where you're hurting is maybe the area where you could do a little bit more work. We have to work at all of these things constantly, and it does get easier, and it does become second nature, and it becomes a little bit more effortless, and just the ease will come. But initially, when you're forming new habits and new neural pathways, there is a bit of work and heavy lifting involved. So I think we can always look to the place of the most pain to tell us where we should channel our focus
Yeah.
to become
Yeah,
healthy.
I love that. Because I know, for me, one of the biggest things that I have definitely struggled with, and I know a lot of the women that I work with or are part of my community have also communicated to me, is like finding this motivation or finding this level of consistency within showing up for yourself in that kind of way, specifically when it comes to moving their bodies or nourishing their bodies with foods that are going to make them feel the best inside of their bodies.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm super curious, from your perspective, why do you feel as though that happens?
I think our society has a really big emphasis and focus on the word motivation. And when I talk to people and I'm like, what's blocking you from achieving your fitness goals? One of the most common things that I hear back is, I just don't have the motivation. And the thing to understand about motivation is it's an emotion. It's going to come and go. And in order to be successful in life, in creating a new version of yourself and up leveling and being a completely different person in 5 years or 1 year or 1 month, you want to rely on something that's not like emotion. Emotion is going to come and go, and it's fleeting always. It's temporary. You want to rely on something more solid and stable than emotion, which comes and goes. You want to rely on a system, a plan. You want to rely on a guide or something or someone that's going to root you and help keep you on track when times are hard. Because when times are hard, motivation will not come through for you. We always say, me and Lynn's like my roomie and bestie, motivation follows action. So you take the action and you actually feel more motivated once you have gone to the gym, once you have gone on a walk, once you have crushed a day of healthy food. So I think that we can actually let go of motivation. It's not a problem if you lack motivation. It's not a problem at all. I'm not always motivated. Hell no. And the reason I'm successful is
Me either.
right. The reason that we're successful isn't because we're motivated. It's because we take action no matter what, and we don't stop until we get the result that we want. So it's okay if you're not motivated. Let's let go of that and replace motivation with a plan.
Mm-hmm. Y'all, write that shit down. What Mar just said is like the formula for life, because you can take that and apply that to literally every single area of your life, and it's going to be true. And I think there's so much wisdom and so much beauty of what you just said. It's like, when we are depending on an emotion to be the thing that guides us closer to where we want to be,
Yeah.
we're not going to ultimately get to that place in the timing that we want to or in the way that we want to, because it's so fleeting. It's energy in motion, and being able to really step into that energy where you're making a choice for yourself to get that plan, lean on somebody, hire the coach, whatever it is, then helps you actually achieve the goal, because there's something in place other than the emotions that are going to be like, fuck no, I don't want to do that. Like, I don't want to do that. So that leads me into wondering what has been like one of the most challenging things that you've had to overcome mentally or emotionally on your fitness journey.
Yeah, that's a great question. I honestly had to think back on this one. And I remember when I hired my coach. So I've had multiple coaches for multiple different things. I've had business mentors, I've had fitness coaches, I've had people guide me in a lot of different areas of my life, and it's made all of the difference. But that being said, I had a mental struggle with myself about a year ago when I rehired my former fitness coach because I felt like it was expensive. And at the time, I didn't have a lot of money. And so I was looking at putting it on my credit card, and I had this internal struggle of like, is this smart? Is this financially responsible? And when I would ask my boyfriend at the time and my parents, should I do this? They're like, you might wait a couple more months until you have the money coming in. But I've always been somebody that just took the leap before I had the money and put things on credit cards. And it has always worked out for me. So it's kind of like that motivation follows actions thing, right? Like the result that you want and the money that you want and all of the things that you want that you're waiting on to do the thing. Actually, if you do the thing, all the things you're waiting on will also come. So it's kind of a chicken and egg thing. And what I did is I just took the leap. I reinvested and I started feeling so much better, so much quicker. At the time, even being a fitness coach, like I was taking myself to the gym, creating my own program, my own plan, kind of half-ass tracking my macros. And I'm like, this is just going to make me so much better as a coach if I have my own coach and start really showing up for myself on a whole new level. So I did, and I've been consistent with all of that ever since with my nutrition, my macros, my gains in the gym, showing up for my training. Like it just takes all of the drama out of it for me because there's no question I'm going to go and do what's on my program today. There's no question I'm going to hit my macros as closely as I can this week because I have to submit that report to my coach with my progress photos on Sunday. Like even coaches have coaches. So that was a hard decision for me financially to make at the time. But I'm glad that has never stopped me from investing in myself because I certainly would not be in the position that I'm in now with my business, with my relationships, with my own personal fitness, moving to San Diego, buying my Mercedes, like everything that has happened has been because I've been willing to take the bet on myself before I had the money. So I think that stops a lot of people and it almost stopped me. So that's a big one.
Super, super powerful. I know, especially for like us in the coaching space, we know the power of investing in ourselves. It's like the crack of life. It like lights the fucking fire. It changes everything in your life. And it totally is when you're in that position where you maybe haven't invested in yourself before, or you haven't seen that kind of result of what learning from a person who knows the path to get you to where you want to be can do for yourself in your life. But it sounds like for your journey, it's like, that's the thing that really has helped you get to the place where fitness has become what it has for you in your life. And like, not just fitness, once again, because I'm such a firm believer in the fact that like the way we do one thing is the way we do all things. So it's like, of course, your business, your finances, your personal life, all of these other things skyrocket in that direction as well because of that choice to invest in yourself.
Absolutely. I hit like 7K months, 3 months in a row right after I signed up for my fitness coach. And I also signed up for my business coach at the same time. So I just went all in. And I think the scariest part for people in actually investing and spending the money is that it's not about the money, right? It's about the belief in yourself that you actually are going to show up for it. I think people are so afraid they're going to fail. What does failing mean? The only way you can fail is if you stop, you give up, you stop trying. And I think people are really afraid that they're going to do that they're going to stop and fall off the tracks. But if you find the right match and there's real alignment there with the mentor, the guide, the coach that you've chosen, they're going to be able to help keep you on your tracks, because they keep you coming back to what's true for you, your motivation, why you started in the first place. They ask the right questions to guide you back home when you lose your way. So yeah, I think when it's right, it's right, and you'll find that success that you're looking for.
Love it. Love it. So what are some like mindset hacks that the listeners can become aware of and implement into their lives in order to build the desire to want to grow and to want to work out and to want to go on a fitness and health journey?
Yeah, I have kind of two answers to this. Coming back to the whole motivation thing, one time I actually Google searched like motivation, and it's your why. It's your reason. Your motivation is the reason that you do things. So while you don't need to rely on the emotion of motivation, when you first start, there's kind of this intention. There's a motivation, there's a why, there's a reason. And you have a hard why. You have a reason that you are willing to do that thing and sacrifice all else for it, because it's so strong. The desire to get there is so strong. And this might be for yourself. It might be to be a good example for your kids. It might be because you saw your parents getting older and becoming unhealthy, and you realized like so strongly you did not want to follow in that path. Like this is usually that deep rooted, like emotional, like I need to change my life or else this will happen. And I know I'm worth more. It's like that really like strong, deep down drive. And so I think it's really important when you first start your fitness journey to connect with that at a deep level. Why is this important? Why does it matter? How would it change your life if you were able to achieve your goals? Imagine yourself in 1 year. How is it different waking up as that person? So I think that is really important, and that helps to build the desire to want to take action day after day. But the important thing to remember too is there are going to be days when you wake up and you don't feel that desire. You're like, no, actually, I really think that I should chill today, or I really think I should go out drinking with friends tonight. Like that just sounds like more fun. And that's not to say that those aren't the right decisions, but you really have to check in with yourself and be honest about, is this on a deeper intuitive level, like the thing that is in my highest good, the thing that is the most self-loving here and now. And sometimes it is. Sometimes I just really need a rest day, or I'm feeling under the weather and I'm sick. But I have to be honest with myself and cut through the bullshit. Is this a lack of motivation? Is this me being sluggish and lazy? Or is this me actually honoring and loving myself out of a place of like, I do need to rest. This is actually the best decision right here and now. So one thing I see a lot of women do, especially, is pay so much attention to the emotions that they feel. And like I said, the emotions come and go. And so what we focus on expands. We know this, right? When we focus so much on the motivation or the lack of motivation, that lack of motivation feels like it's expanding. We can manipulate it and expand it. And so then we're sitting, we woke up at 8 a.m. We planned to get the workout in first thing, but we're like, I'm going to do this other thing. 3 hours go by and we've been focusing in the back burner of our mind on the lack of motivation and making a big story about that and building resistance. And so then it is much harder 3 hours later to get yourself to do it. So really, I think sometimes you have to that's where a plan really helps. It takes the drama out of it. It takes the emotion out of it. Sometimes we have to focus less on the emotions that are pulling us away from what we wanted to do originally with our health, and we just have to execute. Nike says just do it for a reason. Like just take action, ladies. So I think that it's helpful to have a combination of those. Come back to your desire, remember your hard why, and also take action and check in with yourself when you don't feel like taking action. Is it really in your highest good? Just be honest with yourself.
I love that. It's super powerful to have the combination of both of those things. And I'm super curious for you, what is your current why of why you show up for your fitness journey?
So for me at this point, it's just so fucking fun and I love it. The gym is my playground and I have such a good time with it. And so for me, it really doesn't matter if I get the booty or not. Like I want a shelf of a booty. I want a thick, booty.
Yes.
It's fun because why the fuck not? Like, it is
Yeah.
fun to see the shifts in my body, but I'm so happy with where I'm at right now that if nothing even ever changed on a physical level, I'm good. I'm so solid. I'm so happy. But I keep showing up and working towards goals just because it's fun. And that's why I want to be a millionaire and maybe a billionaire, because money's fun. It's fun to work towards something. You know, it's fun. I like to work. I like to show up and get it and push and find new depths within myself. Like, I went into the gym last week and I was like, I'm gonna set some PRs, bitches. And I set so many PRs. I had no idea that I could even push that hard on upper body. Like, it was astonishing to me that I found such new depths within myself and my strength and my grit last week.
Yeah.
And I'm always telling the women that I coach, like, you are so much stronger than you think. And it applies to me too. Like, we have superhuman power within us. And that strength that I build in the gym helps me with the strength in my business. It helps me push through when things are so hard. It's really fun to build my power. My mission in life is to empower women. I just love it because it's fun. It's just play. So that's, I think, the journey too, is maybe this is eye-opening for some people that feel like working out right now is so not fun for them. Anything is possible, and you can get to this place where I'm at now, because I'm no different from you, where it is really fun and it is play. It's just a friggin' good time.
100%. And I love what you just said of like, for women who feel as though like movement is not fun or it's not something that is enjoyable for them. I know that something that has been a huge part of my journey was that like movement was punishment to me in the past. Like, I ate X amount of calories, then I had to go and do X amount of exercise to burn that off, because I was in such a disconnected place with my body and hated my body so much that
Yeah.
it wasn't something to honor myself. It was something to punish myself. And one of like the most life-changing things that you've said to me in terms of movement is that movement is a form of self-love.
Yeah.
And since then, that's changed the game for me. My health has drastically changed over the past year in terms of movement and what I put into my body. And my true reason for that was like, I just felt like shit every single day. At the end of the day, I felt like shit inside of my body. I felt bloated. I felt gross. I felt sluggish. And now I'm like, oh my God, like I feel really fucking good majority of the time. And it's completely changed from this energy of like, this is self-love. Like, I get to do this for myself.
Yeah.
So can you explain for us, like, if somebody sees movement as punishment, how can they step into the energy of it being a form of self-love?
Yeah. I feel like one of the most self-loving things we can do for ourselves is to show up every day and take action towards our future self. So I want to say, to everyone who's listening, start from a place of, who do I want to become? What kind of woman do I want to be a year from now? How would I describe myself? Close your eyes, breathe, take a moment, and just imagine what's possible for you. Now, that woman, how does she show up? What does she do every day that's different from what you do now? How does she show up for her health? Does she work out at home? Does she go to the gym? Does she move? Does she hike? Does she surf? Does she do yoga? Does she lift weights? Is she strong? Is she powerful? Is she free? Is she expanding? Is she growing? Is she evolving? Like, what does it feel like to be in the future version of yourself? And so once you've gotten clear on that, it's taking action every day in the way that she would. You take action today. And then when you get back from that movement session and you stay on track with the things that you planned to eat in the day, you have a food journal for yourself, you check your macros, or you just know what your food triggers are and you avoid them, or alcohol doesn't feel good, so you don't drink that much of it. You make decisions from a place of your future self 1 year from now, and you start to, it takes time, but after a number of days, you build these new neural pathways and you start to build trust with yourself. And you start to have more belief in yourself. You do the things that you say you're going to do, and you show up for yourself. And there's this level of consistency. And when you do that repetitively, you start to love the heck out of yourself more and more every day. And I can look at myself in the mirror now and say, Mar, I love you. And I feel that sink in. And I do love myself so much. It wasn't always that way for me though. So I think it's something that we have to work on, and we have to be consistent about showing up from a place of self-love and who we want to be a year from now. When we see ourselves taking action consistently, that self-love comes more naturally, and we associate all the things we're doing like movement with that self-love. And you can shift from looking at movement as a chore or an obligation or something you need to do because you're supposed to look a certain way for society standards, to I do this because it makes me feel good. And also within the first week of me coaching new women, like, they always tell me, oh my God, I feel so different. I feel so good. Even before there's a lot of physical changes and the progress photos are on the scale, they are feeling a lot better because movement releases drugs in the brain that feel awesome. It is just a natural high. So that's something we forget too. It's like, as soon as you start your movement session, you're 10 minutes in and you're in motion, that momentum is going. Like, you just have to start. Just get your shoes on, get your sports bra on, whatever. Just start. Give it a shot, and you'll get through your session and you'll feel awesome afterwards. Like 99% of the time, unless you're sick and you need a rest, you're going to feel really good and you're not going to regret it. So I think it's just pattern and repetition and taking action from a place of your higher self, and it builds self-love, kind of self-loving relationship with movement.
Absolutely. And just to reiterate what Mars just said, it's like, you can look at this from such a scientific standpoint if science is your thing. With what she's saying is like, as you start to take that action, you start to create evidence for your subconscious mind as to why this is something you want to continue to do. You start to build those neural pathways inside of your subconscious mind so that you're rewiring your psychology to work for you, to want to do this, for it to just be a part of your norm. So that, like you said, 1 year from that starting point, it's just who you are. It's just part of your identity because you've brought it into this position of it being so normal for yourself and your subconscious mind, for your psychology. And if science isn't your thing, you can see this from the spiritual standpoint of like honoring the fuck out of yourself, your body as a temple. You are the sacred goddess of that temple, and you choosing to love yourself in that kind of way is 1 year from now going to bring you spiritually closer to yourself, bring you emotionally closer to yourself, bring you so much closer to all of the things that you want. So no matter what way you see it, you can truly implement these things into your life to honor yourself in a way that is going to make sense for you and get you to the place that you're wanting to be. So all of this is such incredible information and such great advice. And one last question for you, Miss Mar, is what is one piece of no bullshit advice you can give to the listeners if they've resonated with this message?
I have two, and they're short and punchy. Motivation follows action. First and foremost, take action, focus on the action. Don't worry about the motivation. It's coming, sis. Second, little by little, a little becomes a lot. And all of the little decisions that you make throughout your day and your life, they snowball and they add up just like your savings account and investments. So everything in your day, it's a moment by moment decisions in your mind that you make. It all matters, and it all equates to who you are becoming a year from now.
Totally. Compound interest, baby.
100.
I love it. So where can everybody find you and see your juicy freaking booty?
That's really why I'm here, is to working on it.
Y'all should see Mar twerk. It is one of the most impressive things I ever did see.
You've seen it upside down on the wall too.
Yeah.
Oh shit, we were getting after it that night. I am on Instagram at move.with.mar. Move with Mar. That's me. Yeah.
Perfect. And do you have anything else that they can be a part of right now?
Ooh, I think just getting connected on IG and like shoot me a message. And if you want a workout sample of one of my workouts, or you want some nutrition advice, I've got a mini recipe pack I can send people. I have workouts I can send people. If you just need like a little boost in your week, drop me a DM and I'll get you some goodies to get your week going.
Yay.
So,
Amazing.
yeah.
And the link to find Mara is going to be down below in the show notes. So anybody who's resonated with this message, who's ready to go on that fitness journey, and like Mara said, is like wants to connect, to talk about fitness, to talk about nutrition, to get that kick in your step, she's your woman. So make sure to check her out down below in the show notes. And Mara, thank you so much for coming on to the podcast. This has been awesome.
Super fun. Thanks, Kit Kat. Love you.
Love you.
Oh my gosh. Thank you for listening to today's episode. I'm so grateful to have these no bullshit talks with you. If you enjoyed today's episode or the podcast as a whole, please spread the love by leaving me a review on iTunes or sharing the podcast with others. This is how I will be able to spread more of these good vibes and be able to make more of an impact on the lives of others. And if you're not already part of all of the goodness and communities that I have to offer, check out the show notes. I have links to the different ways that I can support you on your manifestation journey and help you live a life full of more money, fulfillment, and freedom. But that is all for now. So big love and hugs, and I will chat with you soon, babe.